Hi guys, so in today's cooking video, I'm going to show you how I make my kids a supreme type pizza from start to finish. These are the ingredients that you're going to need for the crust. Make sure you write them down. All right, we're going to start off with a cup and a half of water, and I'm going to actually microwave that water for about 45 to 60 seconds to get it nice and hot, and just leave it because sometimes it could be too hot. And here in a bowl, I'm just adding in my 3.5 cups of flour, my 1 teaspoon of sugar, and my 1.5 teaspoon of salt. I'm also going to go ahead and add in 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast and just mix those dry ingredients together. Here I'm just going to check the temperature of the water. We don't want it to be super hot, so it's 113 degrees. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into that water and just give it a nice mix. I put my dry ingredients into my mixer bowl and I attached my dough hook. So I'm going to start that up and start adding in the water and extra virgin olive oil mixture into that so it can combine nicely. I'm just adding in a little at a time. You do not want to put it all in at once, just a little at a time. And you just let the mixer do its work. If you don't have a mixer, you can go ahead and use your hands, you guys. It's super easy to do with your hands, okay? So as you guys can see, I'm just adding a little bit of water at a time. By the way, the mixer I'm using is a KitchenAid Classic. I bought it from Walmart, actually. It was on sale for $186. So as you guys could see, the dough is coming together real nicely. It's pulling off of the sides of the bowl. So that's a very good sign, okay? So I'm adding in the last little bit of drops of water that I have in there, and I'm just going to let it go for another couple of minutes. I want to make sure everything is nice and combined. All right, now you can go ahead. If you're using a machine, stop your machine. Okay, and it took about 5 minutes to mix the dough together in the machine. You don't have to overdo it, okay? So now I'm just going to take the dough out and I'm going to hand knead it, or, well, we just say mash it, but I'm going to hand knead it. That's the American way, I guess. And just combine the ingredients just a bit more and create a soft, not create a soft, create like a ball shape from the dough, a nice kind of smooth ball shape. The same pan that we mixed the dough in, we're going to add in about 1.5 teaspoons of extra virgin olive oil and oil that bowl, like rub it all over. This will keep the dough from sticking to the bowl while it rises. And whatever oil you have left on your hand, take it and just rub it on the top part of the dough. And just put it in there and use a damp towel, not wet, damp, okay, with warm water. I usually use a paper towel and I just cover it. And what I do is I like to preheat my oven, take it off, let it cool for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then put the dough in there to rise since the oven is warm, okay? So the oven is not actually on. For one of the toppings, I'm using chicken tenders, and I'm using about 6 to 8 pieces of chicken tenders. I'm just going to season them with some black pepper, paprika, some oregano, and a tablespoon, a half a tablespoon of olive oil and some garlic powder. I'm not going to put salt on them because all the other ingredients in this pizza have a lot of sodium, so we're going to kind of keep it a little healthy, even though I load this baby up with a whole bunch of stuff. So now I'm just going to go ahead and saute all of those tenderloins, and it takes about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. So if you want to buy these already cooked, that's totally up to you, but I like to do this myself. This way there's no preservatives put into the meat to keep it, the cooked meat, to keep it fresh for a long time. Even though I'm moving them quite a lot, try not to move them a lot, you guys. Okay, I'm just moving them over to make space, and just let them cook. Give them their 3 to 5, not 3 to 5, 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, and then start flipping them over. You're gonna see that they're going to get some color. Look really pretty, don't they? And if you want to, you can do the same style chicken for a salad. It's super easy to do, you guys. You just cut it up, put it on your salad, and you're good to go. Okay. Once that's done, I'm going to put those in a separate plate until I'm ready for them. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting up this green bell pepper. It's just one. It's like a medium-sized green bell pepper. Once I'm done slicing up that green bell pepper, I'm going to go in with the onion. These toppings are completely optional. I totally understand that a lot of you guys prefer just certain toppings. You do not have to do what I am doing as far as the toppings, okay? Choose your own toppings. But I like peppers, onions, tomatoes. Those are the type of toppings. I like mushrooms. So totally up to you. You could put pineapple on it if you want to. You could put whatever it is you feel as though you want on your pizza. So I'm going to use this sweet Italian chicken sausage, which tastes great actually, and slice those up. I'm only using two, okay, because I have a lot of that chicken. And then I'm going to use this Parmesan cheese blend that I got from Walmart, and I'm going to use a half a cup of that. Then I'm going to go in with a half cup of white sharp cheddar and a cup and about a half of finely shredded mozzarella, and mix those two together, or those three together. Alright, you guys, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cut up or slice up our chicken tenders that we cooked earlier and just add it to my cutting board with all my toppings for my pizza so they're all in one place. I'm also gonna add some mushrooms to this pizza. My kids are totally against it, but I like mushrooms, so we're adding mushrooms, all right? And it's about maybe a half a cup of mushrooms, maybe a little over. So now what I'm doing is wetting my countertop so that the foil could stick to it, okay? So this way I don't have to worry about it, lifting up too fast. And I'm also gonna add some flour on top of that and add my dough. That has risen really nicely. Alright, you guys, I'm just going to go ahead sprinkle a little bit of flour on the top so that my rolling pin doesn't stick to it. And to roll out the dough, I'm just going to use a small rolling pin. I have a really big one, but I feel as though the smaller one works best for me. And you're going to want to take your time and slowly roll out the dough. You do not want to put too much pressure down. You want to, very light pressure and roll it out and take your time. I'm going to speed this up just a bit because it took maybe a couple minutes just to get it out the way I wanted it to be. But I don't know if you guys can notice, I'm using pressure towards the edge part of the rolling pin to widen out the dough, if that makes sense to you guys, just to make it wider and bigger. Okay, so I don't know if you guys could tell, I'm applying pressure towards the end part of the dough, and then the center part I'm keeping a very light hand, and I'm just rolling it out into almost a perfect circle, almost. All right. All right, you guys, I hope you can realize that it's super easy to make your own pizza dough and pizza crust at home. This same dough you can use to make garlic knots if you guys want to. I can do a separate video on that on another day. But right now I'm about to stuff the crust, and I'm using this mozzarella string cheese from Kraft. And I'm going to put it almost on the edge of the dough and just leave just a bit space so I can kind of fold the dough over. Okay, and I'm just kind of putting it in spots where I feel as though it needs to be, and just to kind of measure if I might have to cut one of these cheese sticks. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm adjusting them to make sure everything is lined up really nicely. Okay, and I'm just going to add an extra one, and one I'll have to cut. Okay, and then now I'm just going to start folding over the dough. And very easy to do. You can use your fingers to push it down, but I'm gonna go ahead and use a butter knife, the back part, the handle part of a butter knife, to kind of push it down to make sure it stays down. Okay, if you want it to be more secure, you can double roll it. So roll the dough over once more to make sure it stays inside of the dough. That was my son. He went and ate the cheese like an animal with his mouth. Okay, but yeah, so just fold it over. If you guys want it to be, more inward, just roll it one more time or fold it over one more time, and it'll be fine. But it turned out beautiful. It was delicious. Okay, and I'm using the back of the butter knife just to push down the dough to make sure all the cheese doesn't come out. If a little bit oozes out, that is fine, you know. Okay, so now this is the sauce that I'm using. I do not know how to pronounce that word, Pasiena marinara sauce. It's really good. Okay, it has a very nice flavor to it. I'm just going to add about a half a cup of that onto my pizza crust and spread it out real nicely. Make sure I get all the edges of the pie. I'm just using a wooden spoon to do that. Then I'm going to start with my cheese mixture. I'm just going to put on my first layer of cheese, which is going to be the thickest layer of cheese. I'm later on going to sprinkle a little bit over all of the toppings, okay? So now one of the first toppings I'm putting on, which I didn't plan on putting, but my kids like pepperoni. So I'm going to go ahead and put the pepperoni first. You can put this towards the end if you like. If you like your pepperoni to have like that, what's that? Like it's kind of like a crispy texture to it. Okay, but it's really hard for my kids to eat it. So I put it first, but you could put it towards the end if that's how you like it to be, okay? Then I'm going to go in with my chicken that we made earlier. And I'm using all of the chicken, by the way. This is a very big pizza, you guys. This is about maybe a large, extra large size pizza. Sometimes Domino's will say they have an extra large pizza and it's smaller than this pizza I'm actually making here. So it's definitely, I guess, a regular extra large size pizza. And then here I'm just adding that Italian chicken sausage all over. This will be a really good thing to make for Super Bowl Sunday if you are cooking. I think your guests will be very impressed with your skills if you try to do this, okay? Now I'm going to go in and add in my onions and peppers and put it all over. And I'm going to start with my tomatoes. I really wish I had added more tomatoes. I like tomatoes on pizza. Okay, it's a thing of mine. I like tomatoes, I like spinach, I like all of that stuff on pizza. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my mushrooms. They're so yummy, guys. I was a total anti-mushroom person, but my baby got me to eat a stuffed mushroom and my life changed forever. So here I'm just adding the rest of the cheese mixture on top of all my toppings. And I want you to make sure that you preheated your oven, okay? I'm going to show you another kind of little thing to show you to preheat your oven, but I want to make sure you do that. So what I'm doing right here, I'm using the rack from my oven and I slid it underneath that foil. I don't know if you could see it in the corner there, but I'm going to show it to you. All right, you guys, so this is how it looks underneath the foil. That's the rack from my oven. Okay, and make sure your oven is preheated to 425 degrees and bake your pizza pie for 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how done or how crunchy you want the bottom to be. This is pretty much what it sounds like when I cook it. I'm actually waiting.
Why is it done? Easy when you actually open the book.
You smell it?
Yes.
Can you smell that pizza?
Yes.
Yes!
C plus average and 2 coats of deodorant.
Yes!
I bet you guys didn't know I made those crazy sounds in my house, but this is the finished pizza. Isn't she beautiful? Oh my God, guys, it was so delicious. My son had 2 slices, my daughters had 2 slices. It was perfect, perfect, okay? But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Comment down below and let me know if you recreated this pizza and let me know how it turned out for you guys. And I'll see you all very soon. Love you guys. Bye.